Established in April 2021, Upland Development United is the oldest and most exclusive and transparent no development collaborative in the Upland Metaverse. Contact Watch User Ben 68 for more information. Warning: this podcast is produced by Metaverse Ventures Entertainment and contains unsolicited and heavily biased opinions which are solely the views of the individuals involved. It does not include investment advice of any kind, and you are responsible for undertaking your own financial, including tax liability research relevant to your own individual circumstances.
Taking over the Upland Development United. Total meta domination.
Hello and welcome to UDU Podcast Year 2, number 51. I'm Ben 68, and today it's either Tuesday the 24th or Wednesday the 25th of May. Today's show is again brought to you by the Upland Construction Company, aka the UCC. Have you checked them out yet? The UCC focuses on transparency and consistency for a name you can trust. Here are just a few of the many reasons why you should consider UCC for your Spark lending and borrowing needs. The UCC has a managed queuing system, which means that unlike exchanges, the UCC actively manages its Spark pool so that all builds are completed in a timely manner with no additional fees. The UCC has transparent pricing, and because of UCC's managed queuing system, prices are consistent with no fees, as we said, and pricing management that gets your build completed. The UCC has trusted and well-established reputation, and it is fast and efficient. I can definitely attest to that, having just stoked them into full speed ahead. The Upland Construction Company is not an exchange, and that means that they manage their business so that they can help manage yours. Head on over to their Discord and see why their motto is enjoy building with us. The link's in the description. And a special thanks to the UCC team for sponsoring the show for the last 3 weeks. Every little bit helps raise the pot towards doubling the big percentage win chance for the 1 million UpX wheels. And of course, if you have an Upland NFT or Metaverse product, service, or event to promote, opportunities just like the UCC did are available for sponsorship in the UDU podcast. Contact myself or More Cheese to discuss and secure your spot. And like we just mentioned, all proceeds go towards giveaways and prizes on the podcast. As always, we remind everybody that this show is open to the Upland public, and we value and appreciate your input. So jump on in if and when you feel you've got something to add to the conversation or the mouth flappage, as I tend to drone on quite a lot. And of course, up first, we've got the Breaking Badly news segment, followed by updates and insights into what's currently going on with the original and premier collaborative node development team within and extending from the Upland Metaverse. The Upland Development United. And of course, we'll finish up with the Upland Mash, which is an open mix of giveaways, forum discussions, contemporary Upland events, Metaverse spotlights, sponsor segments, and on and on and on. And of course, we don't give away, you have the chance to go in to win the 1 million UpX prize on the UpX wheels. In this week's show, we've got kind of two spotlights. We've got the second half of a spotlight on a very special thing that Lackey's got going on in Manhattan. And of course, we've got the bigger spotlight on the history and evolution of the node concept and turn in Upland, which if there's any interest in, and if we've got time remaining for, which we should, because I don't have to scramble to work today, we may be able to do an AMA of sorts on the topic or just a back and forth discussion. So first up, Breaking Badly news. In regards to the crypto markets, I'm loving it. The global crypto market is down from 1.3 trillion last week to 1.25 trillion this week. I'm really hoping to see that get down under the 1 trillion. That would be amazing. Bitcoin's dominance is currently up from 44.32% last week to 44.5% this week. So a little boost there. And most of the crypto prices that we keep a track on in the show are down fairly across the board. I've added a couple of extra this week because those are the ones that I'm gobbling up like a madman while prices are falling. Not financial advice, obviously. Bitcoin last week was at 30,198. It's down to 29,274. Ethereum was 2,062, now down to $1,942. Wax is pretty steady. It was 12 cents last week, 12 cents this week, but it was down as low as I saw 11 cents during the week, which was cool to grab some of that. Engine down was 72 cents, down to 65. Ripple down a little bit, was 43 cents, down to 40. These are the two new ones I've added. Solana last week was $55.30, this week $48.85, and EOS last week $1.36, this week $1.31. Cheese, you said you were gobbling up some Matic, was it?
Yes.
Yes.
It's when I looked this morning, it was doing pretty good. Let me see.
Nice. Anybody else chasing anything in particular?
It went back down again. That just means I get to get some more.
That's right. That's what I'm all about. I've got my automatic daily dollar cost averaging target set. I just put my amount in at the start of the week and it just chips away at it. And I'll ride that all the way to the bottom and back again. Love it. As I said, love it. Over to the Upland markets, thanks to the marketplace analytics. The 30-day transaction volume, everything's down here, was last week 2.34 billion, down to 2.09 billion. 90-day average transaction volume down 104.9 million, UPEX to 99.7 million UPEX, so we drop below the 100 million UPEX mark. 90-day average trading volume down from 8,487 to just over 8,000. And the daily number of swaps is still steady in the high 300 range. I don't know about everybody else, but I've definitely noticed a big drop off in sales. And
Well, I mean, we got Genesis Week coming up. We got cars. We got new minting. It'll pick up again, but this is just a like minting is great opportunity. So I'm not surprised that people aren't going to take advantage of it.
absolutely. Yeah, normally I chase the floors down, but I'm not doing that this time around. I've managed to build up a little nest egg for myself. So I'm just leaving my floor prices where they're at. And once I start getting some sales pinging off again, I'll know that things are picking up. That's the easy way to do it. As for the city markets that we focus on in this show, thanks to upexland.me, a little bit of green, not much, mostly red. San Francisco USD price last week was $24, down to $23. UPEX last week was 30,000. It's up a little bit, 30,900. Manhattan last week was in the $83 to $88 range. Now it's down to $70. UPEX was 118,000, down to 110,000. Chicago, of course, Chicago's been thrown back in the washer machine after, 27,000 properties were thrown into the mix. So that's going to take quite a while it's going to take ages for that to all wash out again. Was $5 the USD price last week, down to $4. UPEX was 7,300. That's taken a massive hit, down to 6,000. LA's had a little bit of a bump, was $5.30 last week, up to $5.70, was about 7,700 UPEX, and it's dropped actually on the UPEX price down to 7,400. And the Bronx was $10 last week, $9 this week, was about 13K last week, down to 11K UPEX this week. So bit of a mixed bag. LA is up 1% to 65% minute out, and Queens is up another 2% from last week to 71% minute out. So that's what's happening in the old markets. What's been happening in the Upland news, Cheese? Quite a bit by the sounds of it.
Well, I'm not muted right now. I just received an email this morning about the hackathon and the NFT design challenge. I'm just going to
I'll give it to you. That's my turn. Payback. We always do this. There you go. You should be right now.
Okay, I am going to, hopefully this is it. Yes. All right. So they emailed those who registered the schedule. And Friday, May 27th is the hackathon kickoff live with co-founder Edan Zuckerman. It's going to be on the YouTube. Here's where you can ask all your questions and kind of get an idea of what they really want from you, or if you don't understand what they say they want from you. Tuesday, May 31st, which is my birthday. So just put that in your calendars. 8 a.m. hackathon release of developer tools via email. Design challenge release of design mission. So I guess that's going to be to everybody and not just in an email. I'm hoping this is because there's not too many applicants. I don't know. We'll see, because I'm going into this. Thursday, June 2nd at 5 p.m. hackathon submissions deadline. So basically you have 2 days. 2 freaking days. June 3rd, they're going to announce the finalists for the hackathon, the 5 finalists, and design challenge winner. Friday, June 10th, hackathon final pitches and Q&A from the 5 finalists. And then Friday, June 10th, the winning team will be announced at the Light It Up Upland Awards party. Design challenge, the winner will be presented with an Upland Award at the Light It Up Awards party.
And hopefully a big, massive, one of those crazy, huge checks for, what was it, 50,000 US dollars?
Oh, for the hackathon winner, yeah.
That's a pretty epic prize.
That's
Yeah, that's
pretty
cool. I caught the tail end. Well, no, it wasn't. It was the recording of the Uplando's Cafe Show, and I caught the Goldsmith schooling Uplando on what hackathons were all about. And yeah, it was very cool to hear his take on it. And with that limited time frame, it does feel very game jammy, which I always love getting involved in game jams back in the day, game development jams. You wouldn't know what you were building or what the limitations were until right before it all kicked off. So it definitely adds a lot of challenge and excitement and fun to the whole process. So yeah, it's going to be very interesting to see how that plays out.
Speaking of Goldsmith, he was doing a surprise book reading.
What?
Yesterday yeah, he was doing a surprise book reading in the Upland. Why couldn't I figure out Upland Cafe, the name Upland Cafe? Yeah, it was Dirk's book, and he was reading passages from it, and it was actually very nice. He has a very nice reading voice, and what he was reading was very interesting and enlightening. Navigating the metaverse. I think everybody should support our guy Dirk and get a copy of that. I'm actually going to get a digital copy of it so I don't mess up the one I'm going to get signed in Vegas.
Nice. Did you say our God, Dirk, or our guy?
Our
Dirk?
guy.
Okay.
Our God. We're not worthy.
That reminds me of of the reads that who was it? I'm blanking on his name. That used to do the Green Rabbit reads. God, why can't I think of his name?
Oh, Dub?
No.
Oh, Mars.
Yeah, God, sorry, Mars.
Yeah. Oh, story time with
Blanking on his name.
Mars.
Yeah.
I really
that's cool.
enjoyed that, actually. Yeah.
So is that going to be a regular thing, or is it just he just came out with that?
He does it whenever, like, there's a lot of people in the cafe voice and everyone is just muted and just lurking.
Oh, that's cool.
So I get a lot of the time people are in there, same as me, just waiting to hear like a voice. You're doing your own thing and you just want to hear background noise. So it was very nice. Yeah.
Tea time with the Goldsmith.
Tea time with the Goldsmith.
Nice.
So let's get into the Lockie thing. If you tuned in last week for the Wine and Cheese Show with Elijah, you will have heard about the pre-built townhouse Bronx prop giveaway. So just to recap real fast, Lockie is celebrating his win for the 3rd ornament contest, the 3D ornament contest he won for Miles into the Universe, which is really cool. Ben has the picture up right there.
In the Metaverse. I think it was. Yeah.
It was created by CMAVs, and he's celebrating by giving out 5 pre-built townhouses around the New York City area through Upland Podcasters. So MVE is representing the Bronx, of course, because that's where my node is. The UPX podcast, Radish Head, Slingshot Futures, and Blood Spirit. So we at MVE received the Bronx 2224 Lodovick Avenue prop that is located in the lovely Pelham Gardens. And to win this, all you have to do, it's very easy. This is the easiest challenge we've ever given. All you have to do is like and subscribe if you haven't subscribed already, and leave a comment in the chat saying, Laki is awesome. That's it.
Very cool.
That's it. How easy is that? And by the way, his name is spelled Lakhe. Laki is awesome.
This I still can't get my head around it. Some people are saying Lackey, some people are saying Locky. I don't know.
I mean, Lackey, it could be my New York. I don't know.
Yeah. I think he changed the spelling to make it sound like Lackey. I don't know.
Lackey.
Whatever it is, it's an awesome prize. So yeah, definitely put the 2 seconds effort in to get that sorted out for yourself. And yeah, I will patch the front half of the Whine and Cheese Show segment plus that segment together and push that out as its own little special spotlight as well. Very good.
Nice.
So
And the only other thing, save the best for last. The car has been revealed.
Yes, I mean, if you haven't seen that already by now, I'm not going to show it. You must be living under a rock if you haven't seen it. It's very, very cool. Yes, I don't know, what can you say? Everybody wants it. If you get it in your hot little hands, yeah.
In your hot little hands.
I would advise you hold on to that for as long as possible, because that is definitely a don't sell your Bitcoin for pizza moment. But see how we go.
I gotta show it. It's gorgeous.
I just hope it gets in the hands of somebody who knows the value of what they're holding.
Oh yeah. Is Cam in here? He was saying in the Upland Cafe that he'll sell his as soon as he gets it for $5,000.
5,000 is way too cheap.
Way too cheap. Yeah.
Way too cheap.
These Jack was trying to tell him that, and he was just like, "Oh, someone offers me $5,000, they got it, it's theirs."
Especially after you do the 5% Tilia tax and you do your in real life tax. No way. 10K, and even that 10K is bare minimum.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to think there's those Kitty Island properties and that get sold for 10K. That's wow, 5K. Okay. Geez, if Cam wins it, I'll put my hat in the ring for 5K. I'll dust off the wallet. Jazz has said someone offer me a real car if I win it. There you go. Now you're talking. Yeah, 5K.
Yeah, what if they come up with like a really piece of crap car to trade you for it? That's like black smoke, and it's like.
Well, it's pretty funny.
For $100.
Well, most people that I know that if that does go for 10K or over, that's more valuable than what their actual in real life car's worth.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, pretty funny. All right, was there anything else that happened through the week? I know there was the Spark Week. A lot of people, made good not bank balance, Spark balances stacking up in the treasure hunts again. I didn't even bother. I said I was going to dip in again, like do away with the Uplando stack your sends thing, but I just haven't had the time. It's been another mental week this week.
I tried. I'm just really bad at it. I know JJ was good. I think he got 19th. Who else did good in here?
Jazz is saying that the hunts were really competitive this month. Yeah, absolutely. And that's only going to get more and more. So I remember back when treasure hunts first started, and even back then when there was hardly any players and there was hardly any minted properties, we would still every now and then have treasures spawn on the tail, and people would claim it automatically in 4 seconds. And I remember saying way back then, like, what's going to happen when we're at, I think I might have said like 100,000 players, and if you got heaps and heaps of players all playing with long tails, it's going to get to the point where all of the treasures, well, not all of them, of course, but many of the treasures will just be automatic grabs. So they're going to have to play with the mechanics somewhat. Nubex is saying he's got bad luck. Oh, you only got 18 or 19 chests. Oh, poor Nub. Let's get out the violins. Actually, I've got. You're in the win of the week this week, Nub. So hold on to your horses.
19 chests.
What else happened
Jesus.
through the week? Anything else?
I think that's pretty much it. I can't really
There's always a few things we blank on.
that's a win. No, that's a win.
Absolutely. All right, well, we shall move on. MVE news and updates. So we have another potential MVE show in pre-production at the moment called Metaverse Future. It's going to be hosted by WX33, aka The Kid. The Metaverse Future series will be providing information and explanations for old fossils, which means anybody over the age of 10, apparently, on how and why NFTs and Metaverse are the future. So keep your eyes out for that one. And if you want a preview on what to expect, check out episode number 18 of the Whine, Cheese and the Metaverses show. I'll put that link in the description too. So yes, he's mad keen, that one. And he can start chewing your ears off instead of just mine. So let's see how we go.
He's a clever little one.
Yes, Cheese, we did get together through the week and made some pretty big changes to the server. Can you give us an idea of what we tweaked?
Oh yeah, we cleaned house. It was nice. It felt good. It looks good. We basically took away things that weren't really being used and merged things together. I think the biggest thing we did was the MBE friends. We made it better for those who are in there that talk a lot, who post a lot of updates. So basically, if you're a regular poster, you're actually going to be doing better because we put it into one channel.
Yes.
And if when you post and it lights up, you're going to get everybody's eyes on you instead of just people who like want to read just your stuff.
Yep.
And basically a lot of the people that we have in there, we really like, we hold dear, we want to keep them in our friends network, but they don't post as much, which, you get busy, things get, whatnot. So it's basically a channel that we say that we are like, we support all of this. This is not shill. This is stuff that we know and like.
It's been through a kind of vetting process. I mean, not that we can ever fully vouch for projects because, you got to do your own research and all of that sort of stuff.
Exactly.
But, it's definitely distinct from the spam and shill channel that we've got where anybody can just go in there and post whatever they want. So, navigate that channel at your own risk. I did have a look before and a few of our content creators haven't really got the message on how that's all been changed. So I'll follow up with them individually to get them up to speed with the new system.
Yeah, but it's looking nice and clean. It's not as confusing because sometimes Ben and I were like, we need to over explain and sometimes less is more.
Yep. Absolutely.
So it's looking a lot better.
And that all came back from the excellent feedback we got from the community as well. So thank you very much for that. And we're going to tidy that up further. We've given our content creators a 1 month leeway period to move all their stuff. So keep an eye out for more changes to come. As with the UDU, we're not afraid to mix things up and change things around to make it all work better.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of wine and cheese, in last week's episode number 35, we spoke to Elijah and learned all about the Real Node LA project and got some insights into some of the very cool stuff that him and the rest of the team are brewing up. And we also kept our eye on the final Mercedes Formula One team Realia and NFT package auction that was going down. So just to remind you, the last one was for a full Formula One car replica decked out in very cool looking NFT wrap. and it sold for 210 Ethereum. So at the time, that was worth about 420,000 US dollars. Oh, mama.
Wow.
So yeah, I'd hate to think what shipping costs were on top of that, but yeah.
I didn't even think about that, to be
So
honest.
pretty cool. So it'd be interesting to see where that whole avenue goes. So if you're interested
Well,
in
that
keeping
and
up to speed,
taxes.
that's the Whine and Cheese show where we keep up to speed with all that sort of stuff. But yeah, tax as well. Holy moly. And yeah, don't forget, each and every week you can get your own episode themed More Cheese NFT for free. It is very, very easy. And yeah, no hints for next week. I'm not even going to bother. So that'll do it for the Breaking Badly news, unless anybody else has anything else they wanted to share or outline. No? Alrighty. UDU team meeting stuff, Whine of the week. I was so madly busy this week. I didn't even get a chance to whine. Anybody got a whine? I would normally say Bok and his Chicago Riot Mode stuff, but I think I've switched that to the win of the week. No whines?
Why is it so hard to do riot mode in Chicago? What, no one's doing it there anymore?
They increased the threshold to 45. Has to be 45 people treasure hunting. I'm pretty sure that's the number, 45 at any given time. Whereas I think in San Francisco,
Unless
it
takes up 49.
might only be 18 or something.
Why'd they do that?
Yeah, well, you go and speak to Bok. He's been raging about it ever since it happened. So
That's so random. That's crazy.
I think it was to do with the fact that at the time, riot mode was being triggered quite often in Chicago. So they must have thought, oh, well, we'll bump it up and see what happens. But yeah, definitely overstepped the mark there, and hopefully they bring it back a bit. Although Mossy Jake and a few other people have been running comps and different, campaigns to get that target number hit.
But like, all right, hold on a second. Because like, for me, I would think that it's a tier 1 city. It should abide by all tier 1 city kind of rules. Like, to change it like that is kind of like fixing the books a bit.
Yeah. I mean, that's what they do. Upland has not been shy about that. They do it with the markets. They have deliberately and said it in their wording that they manipulate things to control the secondary market floors. So I assume they're doing the exact same thing, testing it out with the spark floors. So, we shall see what happens. Yeah, I personally don't like it, but it is what it is. And like I always say, I don't have a PhD in economics, so you just got to trust in the process. Or you can whine endlessly about it and rage quit. That seems to be all the rage at the moment. So
Make sure you tell everybody how much crap the game is while you're selling your stuff, just to get that extra low price on whatever you own.
Yes, absolutely. Now I did I put this as the win of the week because I just happened to see it. Somebody else might have a bigger win, but I did see Nubbix. Is it correct that you now have 25 Spark? And
Wow.
if not all of it, the vast majority of that has come from treasure hunting. So that's very impressive if that is indeed the case.
There's some people who think that treasure hunters shouldn't have so much spark and it should come from just buying.
No way. That's crazy.
I won't name names though, but
Mossy says that Abdullah now has over 100 Spark. ... Yeah, that wouldn't surprise me. If Abdullah's put the time and effort in there to sit there and gobble up all of those tiny fractions of Spark, fair play. I mean, if you got the
he has over 100 spark.
Potentially, that's the rumor. So yeah, I wouldn't do it either, Mossy. So that's what I mean. If he's put that time and effort in, good on him. Same for Nub and all of the other grinders. Bok,
Yeah.
Brabant. There's a whole bunch of people in the UDU team and the wider community that put in hours upon hours, grinding away spark treasures.
So, like, to get this straight, he has more than double the NFLPA's amount of spark.
Yep, that would be right.
Wow. Go Abdullah.
It goes back to your saying, thinkers and doers. You can't
Thinkers and
say
doers.
Abdullah's just, come can't just say he's just all money and no action. I mean, he's
A
building
doer.
nodes.
He's a doer.
He's he's stacking Spark. So yeah,
That was really bad.
well done to everybody who stacked up on some Spark for free. Well, it's not for
I
free
was able
because you're
to
putting
get
in a lot
one.
of time and effort. So
That there goes my win. I am usually not picked to get into that top 100 people who get the Spark, and this was the second time I was able to actually get a whole Spark. And
Nice.
then somebody bought one of my properties for Fiat, and I was able to get 0.10 more Spark.
nice. Yeah, I had a kind of win where I got up, I set my alarm at 1:45 a.m. or whatever the hell it was. And I saw that I was in the queue nice for all of them, which was very rare. So yeah, I put my hand over my face and sucked on my teeth and grabbed one Spark. I won't be doing that again. If I don't do USD sales from now on, I won't be buying anymore, because I think I'm a bit over 21. So I've got the 20 there that I want to use personally for stacking around the UDU nodes, and I've got that extra one there for my UCC contracts and that sort of stuff. So that'll do me for the time being. Sorry, go ahead.
That's a lot of Spark. I'm impressed with you and Nub and anyone who has 20 and above.
Oh yeah, if you got 20 and above, you're well ahead of the game for sure. And I think I said that in the team, like that's just going to be so immensely valuable in the future, assuming that all of the team's plans come to fruition. So we shall see. How are we going in the Bronx style cheese? What's happening over there?
Well, we're taking a break to help Midtown Terrace because I want to see Midtown Terrace kick ass.
Yes, as part of our Spark Blitz.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Now I've just lost my page. There we go. Yeah, so I checked the stats this morning. MTU last week was 47.5%. Built. This week we're at 48.9%. So I expect by next week's show we'll be very close or over our 50% target mark. And have to give big, massive shout out and congratulations to the Icon team who have broken 50% with the Mosswood node. So awesome stuff, Scooby and the gang. I did mention in the UDU chat, let's go for it and see if we can beat Mosswood to 50%. But we went for that target number a little bit too late. So awesome job, Icon. Great to see what's happening there. As for where my UCC contract currently is in MTU, I've got no idea. This Spark Blitz has kind of thrown everything all over the place. I do know that my notifications for Spark that's being staked through the UCC on my properties in Midtown Terrace is just going bang, bang, bang after the other. So that's very cool to see. And Finsky did do a bit of networking this morning, and he organized, I think it might have been another 16 Spark to come in and another half a dozen builds, or maybe even more, that are going to go up and start being built in Midtown Terrace. So thank you for that, Finn. And yeah, there's lots of people who weren't already building in Midtown Terrace have seen what's going on there at the moment and have started builds. And it's also great to see a lot of the UDU team sharing some Spark around and helping to get all that done. Yeah. Awesome stuff. Shout out to Mochis for getting the Acolyte membership NFTs up. And
oh yeah.
people have started to go over and start to collect them. So from Nifty Blocks, and I believe Cheese, you're going to work on, is it the Old Guard next?
Old Guard.
Yeah. So if you're in the UDU team and you haven't gone over and collected your Acolyte membership NFT yet, get in the Discord and check it out and see if you qualify for that. Or you can just go straight, follow the links, go to Nifty Blocks, and it'll soon show you if your wax address has been whitelisted or not for that drop. If we haven't got to yours yet, just wait. It's on the way.
Yep, there's still 20 out of 41. So go get them.
Go get them, slackies. And another big thanks to Finn. He went on a vetting rampage earlier in the week, and he pretty much cleared up the list that we had there, and we welcomed a bunch of new members. We do have one last person in the list, Pappy. I expect the team will dive into your vetting process at some stage this week. So thanks for your patience. So yeah, we did welcome some additional members, and UDU management made the unanimous decision to move the structure nodes links channel from behind the fully upgraded UDU member server curtain out into the general area, so that even our new probationary vetting members can see, who we are, what we're about, what we're doing, who's responsible for all the different aspects of what we do in the UDU. And speaking of that, the code word for the 1 million UpX wheel is Node Team Managers for the win. Node Team Managers for the win.
I'm gonna write it down.
Yes. Okay. I don't know. Anybody else have UDU stuff to touch on? I think that wraps us up. All good. All right, and we'll dive straight into the Upland Mash stuff because we got a lot to cover today. A bit of an update on the Legends of MVE NFT prize that were awarded to Moon Unit and Zoe for the challenge to give us some feedback on how the MVE server could be better set out and improved. I have finished Moon Unit's NFT, and Cheese has worked and put the very cool blue flame border around it. So that'll be getting sorted out at some stage. And I was speaking with Zoe yesterday, and I've got a couple of ideas there, and I'll start working on Zoe's NFT today. So thanks again to those MVE members, and yeah, keep your eye out for those NFTs to come. Now, the weekly challenge wheel, I'll get that up and running in a second. So if you didn't catch it, last week the challenge was to get yourself on and over and established in the URL server, the Upland Racing League server, and tag Dak, Morcheese, and myself in the general chat, and let us know what you're most looking forward to about MVE Motors and Racing. Now, the prize was going to be either the Chicago property that Finn donated back, or 10,000 UpX. So we'll see how we go. Now, because this is a weekly challenge, you don't need to be live in the Zoom to claim it or anything like that. We did have 3 people, only 3. I mean, you can't even give away properties or UpX these days. It's kind of hilarious.
I do have that NFT if you want me to show it real fast.
Oh yeah, sure. The Moon Unit one, you mean?
Yeah,
Oh,
you're
cool.
hard to double dutch in there.
Slap me. Just say oi. As I say, I do have a motor mouth. Yes.
So this is the Moon Unit.
Yeah. Now there's a very cool story behind this, which I don't know. Will we be able to patch in that full story in the description?
Yeah, why not?
All right. So yeah, we won't give any hints to that. Yeah, something to do about those 2 cars in particular and the city behind. So yeah, all right, let's find out who's going to win either the Chicago property or the 10,000 UpX. So we've got Zoe, Moon Unit, and Umbrella Boy.
Umbrella Boy.
All right, yeah, I've got no problems whatsoever giving away prizes to the same few people over and over again, because like we say, they put in effort. Oh, this is borderline. Moon Unit,
Moon
there you
Unit.
go. That's hilarious. Now, I'm going to assume that Moon Unit will take the 10,000 UpX. And the reason for that is that Moon Unit, and this is just a bit of a sneak peek at what to come in, not next week's show, probably the following one. The legend that is Moon Unit has donated not 1, but 3 Chicago Logan Square collection properties for us to give away. So I'll get in Moon's ear this week to see what we're going to do as far as coming up with a challenge that's worthy of such an awesome prize. I'm not sure what the floor on those are, but yeah, collection properties in a tier 1 city. Pretty good prize, that one. So yeah, keep your eye out for that. Now, this week's challenge for the prize for for next week's challenge will either be, if Moon doesn't want that Chicago property, then it will be the Chicago property. If Moon doesn't want the 10,000 UpX, or vice versa. Whatever Moon doesn't claim, that'll be next week's challenge prize. And next week's challenge is very simple. All you have to do, as with the Lackey situation, just post a comment in the YouTube video for this podcast episode. And that's it. That's all you got to do. Post a comment. You could say, Ben, shut up, give Cheese a chance to talk. That's fine. Say whatever you want. So, but yeah, if if you were clever about it, you would follow the Lackey challenge as well, and you'll be able to double down on your chances for some pretty cool prizes. I'll take a breath. Anything else? Anything wants to cover on there? I'm just reading chat. All right, now we set this Metaverse Spotlight up this week to touch on some things that have kicked off just recently for whatever reason. So this week's Metaverse Spotlight is going to be the history and evolution of the node concept and term in Upland. Yeah, as I said, I don't know why this is all kicked off in a big drama the last few days. There appears to be some coordinated agenda that's being pushed to try and go back and rewrite history. So we'll touch on all of that now. Now, I did invite a few people from different node groups in. So please, if at any stage, you know, you want to correct me or jump in and have your say, please do so. Now, I'm going to break this down in kind of 3 sections. We'll talk about the past, the present, and, you know, we can get together and speculate on what we think the future is as far as nodes, not just the term, but also the concept. And we can go from there. So as is always good to know where you are now and what's happening now, it's always good to check in on what's happened in the past. Now, if I can ever get myself organized with share screen, I will bring up, not that challenge wheel, I can close that. I'll bring up this. Can you see the UDU homepage?
Yes.
Thank you. Now, if you get over to udu.world, I mean, the full history is all outlined here and has been for a very long time, but you can get over here and check it out yourself. It basically outlines the formation timeline of everything from the 8th of June 2020, when Upland first released information about property and business development in the game. So I'm not going to touch on all of that, yada, yada, yada. We do know that there was a lot going on then. We get down to this this section here, 21st of March 2021. I started a public push to get Midtown Terrace sold out. Now, you know, this was a situation that had been ongoing for, you know, when did I join? January 2020. So not as far back as then, but for a very long time, there was members within the early community who were buying up full neighborhoods for, you know, there was people buying up neighborhoods for speculative reasons. There was people buying up neighborhoods for, you know, future development plans and whatnot. And, you know, there was all sorts of reasons why they were buying those up. It was a bit of a funny situation where, you know, within the community, people were declaring themselves the mayor of whatever it was, the different neighborhoods. So it was all a bit of fun. And Midtown Terrace was no different. I pushed to get Midtown Terrace sold out. I was by far the biggest property holder there. I think at its peak, I might have had 81%, something like that. I'm pretty sure it was in the high 80s. And that was it. Midtown Terrace was its own singular neighborhood development project. And that's what created Midtown Terrace United. And from that, I began, you know, actively identifying and recruiting other people to get involved in that. And Cheese was a part of that. There's a whole bunch of people in the UDU team, obviously, that were very early in on that stage. But again, at that very early stage, 29th of March, Midtown Terrace, and pretty much, as far as I know, every other project in the game at that time was, you know, there were singular neighborhood development projects. There may have been somebody who owned multiple neighborhoods or something like that. But this next part was, it was the kickoff. It was the big bang sort of moment. So on the 3rd of April 2021, when considering the future expansion potential of the Midtown Terrace concept, myself and partly with another person, I came up with the other umbrella brand of Upland Development United. Now, what does that really mean? I'm a very kind of visual person. I like to get things into my own head visually and explain things visually. people in the UDU team are very well aware of my horrendous drawings that I do to try and explain things. So very early on, well, actually, the first iteration was this. Have you got that up here, the node map?
Yes.
Yes. So as we know, Midtown Terrace was its own thing. There was another player who did something very similar with Balboa Terrace. They had a very similar idea, and we got together one night. We were spitballing backwards and forwards, and we decided, well, why don't we get together and work together? And it was from that we created the Upland Development United umbrella brand. And when we did so, we aligned two independent neighborhood development projects to each other through an umbrella brand, essentially creating the very first two nodes in the game. Unfortunately, Balboa Terrace, along with some of the other UDU nodes that came on later, became a failed project because, talk is cheap. Action takes, time and effort, but it doesn't change the fact that this was the very beginning of the node concept in any form in Upland.
And just to say something really quick, I remember seeing this this node project of yours before we even had that many nodes. We just had Midtown Terrace and Balboa, and you had all of these different like coming soon, and then you had one for different cities and then international. And I thought it was just so cool
So
that you had, exactly, that you had all of this ambition and like foresight. I thought it was really, really freaking cool. I just wanted to say that.
Yeah, so the very, very first iteration of the node concept was the alignment between Midtown Terrace and Balboa Terrace under the UDU umbrella. From that, different projects started to get involved. And this all happened incredibly fast. If you watch those early team meetings, or even if you go to the UDU page and check out the timeline, it was mental how fast this all evolved. But yeah, we soon realized that through this system that it would have unlimited expansion potential, and we've seen that's exactly how it's progressed. No other team at this stage was doing anything like this. As I said, that there were many individual neighborhood projects, and there may have been individuals that had multiple projects, but there was no standalone projects working together through an umbrella brand to essentially create the first node map. And yeah, that kind of led to this week. Now, I did stir up a bit of trouble with this node map I put together. There is a side of ego at play here, undoubtedly. For me, the biggest point is that I've seen the concept that we created become altered, would be a polite way to say it. Bastardized might be a more significant or appropriate way as well. I don't know, but yeah, there's definitely ego at play here. I'm not shy to admit that.
Goldsmith says perverted.
Perverted, yeah. I'm open to all that feedback, absolutely. Yeah, and I'm fully aware and very appreciative that we have actually seen that the concept and the term has evolved over time. Yeah, the UDU has never been afraid to evolve. In fact, we've actually been quite open and transparent about it. If you go to udu.world and scroll down, you will see exactly the evolutionary phases we've been to, and they are substantial. It has been very difficult, very ugly at times. But yeah, we do adapt, we do change and evolve. Now, yeah, if you want to know, if you want to dive into the past history a bit deeper, you can click on nodes. So that's udu.world/nodes. And, it outlined there how, there was other projects around, there was other neighborhood projects around. There was a lot of talk in the community about what this could all potentially be. Like I said, a lot of speculation. It wasn't really hyped back then because we were so early on. We didn't really know what any of this was going to be about. But yeah, I'm not going to read that. You can check that out. Go and check that out yourself. But yeah, for several months, the term node and the concept was only being used by UDU. You can go back to the very first team meeting and you can hear me talk about it. Because the UDU was fully transparent in all of our, all of our team meetings are up there. Anybody can go and check them out. The term and the concept of nodes quickly started spreading through the community. And as the community, expanded, other people adapted and, like I've already outlined, took on this approach. And it got to the point where even Upland couldn't ignore it anymore. And they have since taken it on board themselves officially as well. So, that was pretty cool to see. I know. Does anybody want to chime in there?
I want to say something. I know there was a lot of confusion as to what a node meant. And I remember people asking in the chat, oh, what exactly is a node? I remember people using it the wrong way, but I didn't mind it because it was out of respect. It wasn't kind of like a disrespect towards what we were doing. No. When I do mind it being used in the wrong way is when it's being used disrespectfully. That's the only thing I really want to say.
Yeah, and to expand on that a bit further, the difference of being unaware of the history because it's a new term, if you've just come into the Upland game and you've heard this word being bandied around and you look around and you see what's happening and then you take it on and do whatever you want with it, that's fair enough because you're not aware of the history. But there's people in the community who are fully aware of the history. They know, they understand, and they were in the UDU team at its early beginnings, and they're trying to now go back and rewrite history for their own unknown agenda, shall we say. Yeah, so a good example of how different projects worked prior to the UDU forming was, there was other, maybe I won't name names. There were several teams that were operating under a singular banner that had other projects. Some of those in the early stages of UDU, they came on board as part of the UDU. Now they didn't have a node for each of their individual projects. They had one node under the UDU that was to facilitate all of their different projects. I guess I can highlight Icon as a classic example of that. So, Icon and Scooby saw what we were doing with the UDU concept, and he's a classic example of somebody who saw what we were doing, came up with his own version of it and made something in his own style and that sort of stuff. And that's Icon. Now, Icon has several neighborhood development projects under their brand. When Icon was a part of the UDU, they had one node. It was called, I believe, was it ICU? Icon Contingency United? Something like that. I guess I can also say Little Italy as well. The Little Italy team had, they had the Fresno. They had their Fresno project. They had their, I think at the time, Chicago, Little Italy. Oh, no, it was Manhattan, wasn't it? Definitely Fresno and Manhattan. So yeah, they had projects. And when they came on board under the UDU umbrella, yeah, they had one node, Little Italy United, LIU. And there was also one of the grandfathers of the whole concept of working together. He has, gosh, by now, there seems to be a lot of feature creep happening in that particular team, but I think he might have maybe 9 or something neighborhood projects on the go. When he was a part of the UDU, he had one node, and that was, his node. And he could have 1,000 different neighborhood projects, but within the UDU network, he had one node. Now we haven't seen, I guess I can go back to just to better explain it. I guess we can go back to, where are we? Here. So we go back to this this node map that I put up. This is the UDU as it stands now. So we know that only North American cities have been released. So there's only one main branch that comes off North America, and that's the United States of America. Now, if we have Toronto released, well, obviously there's going to be a branch that comes off for Canada, etc., etc. Now, the blue, if you're listening on the Spotify, we have several blue nodes here. Those are the, what do we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We've got 6 main neighborhood development nodes, and we've also got SMU, which is a kind of a hybrid node. It's kind of a cross between a neighborhood node and a mini node. Again, all of this terminology has stuff that's evolved within the UDU team and spread out far and wide. Now, within the team, we haven't actually had a situation where one of our node managers has more than one node. Midtown Terrace United, I'm the node manager. Lone Mountain United, that's Podex. School District United, that's Uplando. What's the C one? Century? No, what is it?
Century Heights?
Century Heights United in Los Angeles.
Los Angeles.
That's Screw. Strupwood United in Kansas, that's Musita. And the Bronx United, of course, is Cheese in the Bronx. Now, we haven't had a situation where, like, if we go to, you know, Las Vegas or somewhere, and Cheese says, I want to run another node. We haven't had a situation where a node manager has owned more than one node. So we still don't know how that's going to evolve. Like, so that's something we're going to have to wait and see.
One node is a lot of work.
Yeah, absolutely.
You really need like a manager full time to have that node, unless you're really good with multitasking and organization and have a lot of money, because they're also very expensive.
Yeah, and that's the key difference. Within the Upland Development United, we have what are essentially these 7, let's call it 7, because of the work that's been putting into the Super Miles United, I definitely classify that as like a full node, even though it's a hybrid version. You know, we have 7 basically independent people running their own node as part of a wider team. So that's where the difference is. Like I said, you may have another team, whether it be Icon or whatever else, and they run several brands or several neighborhood nodes still under the one umbrella, where this is kind of what's the word I'm looking for? Like, not sub managers. So it's almost like subcontracting or something. And as we've seen, as the UDU team has evolved, as you can go and read, the individual node managers have had more and more control being given back to them, because at the start of the UDU process, you know, we weren't sure how it was all going to work out. We kind of went, because UDU management's a bit like overlords, almost like controlling how things go. Like, obviously, if you're part of the UDU team, there's certain parameters that we want you to, you know, to stick to and whatnot. But yeah, we have seen that evolve as it goes along. Now, we have also seen people, and I think Mesita is a prime example. He has created his own node all by himself, and then he came to UDU and said, look, I've got this node, can I get involved? So then his node came on board as Strupwood United. And another point that's important to make out is if you're in the UDU team, that does not exclude you from getting involved in other projects. It does not exclude you from creating your other projects. In fact, there's at least 2 members that I know of, probably more, who have created their completely independent nodes outside of the UDU, and we're fully in support of that. So, and we always have been. So I don't know, there's a lot going on in chat.
Yeah, what Goldie said was pretty good.
Jump in, Goldie.
Jump in, Goldie.
Tell me to shut up and chime in.
The weather's fine.
Yeah, and like I don't know. Are you going to jump in, Goldie, or do you just want me to read it? Going once, going twice. All right, I'll just read it. So the Goldsmith has said, Node is being used to oversell the value of neighborhoods without long-term development. The work and the community define a node, not the future plans. There are some really cool neighborhood development projects now that are investing significant spark now, but a lot more speculative node projects are being used to sell out neighborhoods without spark development commitments. Always look past people using the term node and into the realities of a node before jumping on node project bandwagons. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and that's part of the reason why I put out that graphic that, got a few people's noses out of joint. Yeah, and that goes all the way back to those very early, like pre-node neighborhood plans. It was all speculation. There was a lot of talk about this, that, and the other thing. And the stats speak for themselves. If you go and check out the development stats in San Francisco, there are projects in there that were hyped up like massively back in the day. And one project in particular is not even in the top 50 of percentage development. Now, you can't tell me that's because you're waiting for more information or you're waiting for better buildings. That's, as far as I'm concerned, that's an abandoned project. There are a lot of neighborhoods that there was a lot of talk, a lot of hype around, and they're chugging along in the 10% developed, 15% developed or more. Yeah, to me, that doesn't show any coordination. That shows individuals playing Weekend at Bernie's. If you know what that movie is. So, I don't know. Does anybody want to chime in there? I feel like Crypto Jedi is just laughing at me. I need to take a breath. So that I think that covers the past. Nobody can dispute that Midtown Terrace was the first node in the game because neither the concept or the term existed prior to us putting it out there. You can go back to the very first team meeting, which is pretty cool to see. And I wonder where that is. Not that, that's mine. Everybody got this document up?
Yep.
So this is the very first document that I put together for team meeting number 1, and this has got the date on it, 8th of the 4th, 2021, and it outlines introduction. Upland Development United is a business, residential, and entertainment property development cooperative. Now that's interesting to say. We were calling it a cooperative early on, and we got a lot of feedback saying it's not really a cooperative for a variety of reasons, and that's why we've changed to collaborative for the Upland game. At the time, we were 40 members and growing, and those 40 members were pretty much all based on the Midtown Terrace buyout that we did. And yeah, I say there, the UDU is currently the parental brand for 2 neighborhood development nodes, Midtown Terrace and Balboa Terrace. And it's the exact same map. And yeah, if you check out UDU team meeting number 1, it outlines all of this. Each NDN, neighborhood development node, is configured for different or complementary development progress, blah, 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 blah. So the concept first burst on the scene way back then. And Finn said in chat, creating a node is a whole different than managing it and keeping members committed to it while new shiny things pop up, monthly city releases. Absolutely. And like I said, one of the biggest neighborhood projects in the game, it just seems like it's just feature creep to the max. They're constantly chasing the latest thing. And the stats, as I said, the stats don't lie. I don't know. Maybe people are waiting for some fandangle new information or something. I'm not sure, but if there is coordination, and the Icon's a classic example. Icon is already over at 50% in Mosswood, and it's not a small joke neighborhood. I think they may have close to 400 properties in Mosswood. That's significant time investment, and I know the Icon team has navigated hefty doses of their own drama through their evolution as a team as well. So yeah, you cannot underestimate or downplay the time, effort, drama that's involved into keeping these things up and running. And that brings us to the present. Now, as I said, we have seen the term node evolve, and ultimately that's a good thing. It's anything that gets people working together and progressing the game. I'm all for that. And some of the early projects that kind of, at least for the UDU team, allowed us to be a bit more forgiving or flexible with the use of our term was probably the GayAv initiative. Would that be one of the earliest ones? That was a node, but not really a node back in the day.
Yeah, it was like an area that human developed, and it was looking really good with the rainbow housing.
Yeah, so I mean, if we, maybe I'll just read it because it just saves me sharing screen 1,000 times. If you go over to the Upland wiki, you can read now that the widely referred to term of a node and accepted term is that nodes mean an area, encompasses any area that has collaborative or coordinated plans for property and a business development within them. I mean, that opens it up to anything. And we know Cheese and I spoke with, as I said, Elijah from the Real Node LA project. If you look into that, it's like a couple of areas within a neighborhood. Technically, as far as the past history of the term, it wouldn't qualify as a node, but absolutely, if you go and listen to the guy talk and you hear about the plans that they have and all of the people they're bringing into the space, yeah, that 100% have coordinated plans for property and business development. So yeah, the term has definitely become a lot more open, a lot more flexible, and that sort of thing. And that's where we've seen so many projects now kicking off. And like I said, personally, I like the idea that it opens it up to more players to get involved with, because, you know, anything that keeps people playing the game helps push the game forward. And it also helps, you know, test out what the game can do and highlight what needs to be done. I'm going to take a breath. Chime in. So what is a node now, as people see it? What is a node? Insert crickets chirping.
So can you hear me?
Yes, mate.
Okay. So what I think and what I see a lot of people saying a node is, I see somebody have like 2 streets and want to call it a node, or 1 street and a couple of houses and want to call it a node. I think that the term has definitely is definitely being misused, and so I think that the newer players definitely should be educated to understand what exactly was the definition behind that word. But yeah, like I said, I think it was a couple weeks ago, maybe with Queen's release, someone's like, I got a node and only had like 1 street or something like that. And then somebody in the cafe was like, is that what they say? That's not a node. It's, I can't remember how they worded it, but basically it's just saying like, that's not a node, man. You misusing the street. I mean, misusing the terminology.
Yeah, it goes back to that image I put. That's not a node, mate. This is a node. Yeah. But the term is open to those projects. And I like that it has opened up to those projects. And I guess I'll go back to that. I'll go back to that image because it just kind of explains it as well. Now, we know the UDU has, as I said, several full neighborhood nodes or the 1 hybrid node, but we also have a bunch of mini nodes. So we have More Cheese United in Santa Clara. We have the Double Diamonds in Oakland, and that was a classic example, as I alluded to further, of what was a full neighborhood node that just fizzled and died because of, you know, a lack of foresight, a lack of flexibility and whatnot. You know, we got Almond Park United. Now, Almond Park United is just a small area around a park in Chicago. Is that a node? It's within the UDU, we don't classify it as a full node, and we definitely, because it's not a full node, we don't devote the resources and time to that in the same way that we do to our full nodes. But yeah, do we have plans for development there? Absolutely. Yeah. Is that going to be developed in the future? Absolutely. Same for MAU. What's MAU? Mango Ave United. Yeah, that's just another cool little area in there. Street node. So the UDU does have a street node, Longwood Drive in Chicago. So yes, under the evolved definition, the terminology of what a node is, yes, that does qualify as a street node. Now you might come along and find yourself in the game and you see this node talk and you think, okay, I'm going to buy out this street myself and make a node. If you're going to have plans to develop that in collaboration with other people, absolutely. I got no issues whatsoever with you calling that a node. But yeah, you got to put the time and effort into doing it. Otherwise, if you don't actually do anything, it's not a node. It goes back to this. It's a hype project. You're just kind of trying to pump up the price. And we've seen, as Dog alluded to, there's a whole bunch of these projects that talk is cheap. They're hyping these projects up, but there's actually nothing being done to see any of those promises being fulfilled. So, I think I said in some of the back and forths I had, not all neighborhoods are nodes, not all nodes are neighborhoods. I think that pretty much sums it up for the present.
I just want to add one thing to what Crypto Jedi kind of said, maybe add the term within Upland, because there's a pre-existing definition to a node in blockchain. Well, there's also a pre-existing example of it in networking. Like I may be a business major, but I also have like a minor in computer science and networking, and to connect, communications together, you create a node, and there's different kinds of nodes you could create, and thus they're bringing together one whole thing.
Absolutely. And it's in the medical field, it's in a whole bunch of different contexts. So, it's not exclusive to Upland or the UDU or anything else. It was when I drew that map and I connected those two dots, that's when it all kind of kicked off. And like I said, the evolution of the term does not change the foundations of the concept. You cannot go back and rewrite history based on the evolution of the term. And I just got to touch on that. Joe said, in quotes, "That's not a node, this is a node," end quote. I've imagined you saying that for months. Absolutely. And also, and it's always a classic quote, "Throw another prop on the nodie," end quote. Nice one, Joe. Yeah. And yeah, Finsky's also said that it says a lot about a person who runs the node if they're selling their nodes at the floor. I guess yes and no in that respect. Some people have done that, and their justification at the time was that they're selling at the floor to get people involved at the cheapest price possibly. They're doing that public. That's one way to do it, but if you do that, you cannot escape the fact that it just looks like a giant pump and dump. Whether that's true or not, that's what it looks like. The floor's being pumped and then you're selling to the market. We do the same thing in the UDU, but we don't put it out there publicly. Like, we pump the floors up to high hell artificially, but the reason for that isn't to sell them, it's to get them out of the hands of flippers. I know Cheese has 0 properties for sale in her node. I have 0 properties for sale in my node. I will never sell a Midtown Terrace property in the open market. It will never happen unless my kids are starving or something like that. Or unless, God forbid, there's some crazy medical emergency or whatever. That will never happen. We sell at a predetermined price within the team that is far below the market price. So
I just want to show something real quick.
Awesome.
You could keep talking.
That's right. Yeah. So we have seen that go 2 ways.
Now, I just found this with a quick search. The star was what I created in one of my end of the term papers I had to create. But this tree kind of looks very similar.
Yes.
To Midtown Terrace. So yeah.
Yeah, there's different types of nodes. Absolutely. Even from the, in other situations and circumstances. So yeah, I guess that Oh, hang on. What's the Goldsmith said here? Networking, biology, programming, they are largely the same definition. Concentration of effort or processing around central points that are interconnected with other nodes through intentional coordination. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's how and why it started. This did not start, nodes did not start by singular neighborhood projects. That's not what a node is. Or it is now because the term has evolved, but it's not the foundations of the concept. Yeah, Finn's. Yeah, Finn. Yeah, I won't dive too deep into that. We're going out of our way not to name names today. But yeah, I mean, it's as I said, the stats and people's actions speak volumes far beyond their words. And like we always say, talk is cheap. So that's the kind of, I guess that's the present. You know, the two most developed node projects at the moment, Nub does have his, what's your dam project? But I think there's only 20 properties or something like that. So yeah, it's up there, the very high percentage. There are a few other projects that have very high percentage. I mean, what was the rare collection in Chicago that just got decimated? Was it Greektown? That was it, wasn't it?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
Greektown is, yeah, as far as I know, Greektown never actively came out and said, you know, we're a node, blah, blah, blah. But obviously there was some coordination going on in the background there. So that's
putting
very
their
cool to see.
valuations as high as they did bit them in the tush.
Yeah. So there must have been some coordination there. So technically they would fall under the terminology of node. And some people hate the term node and they don't want to use it. Go for it. You don't have to. There's no obligation to use it. It was never something that we pushed. It was just that we were public and transparent and it spread through. So yeah, Greektown was very high up in their percentage developed, but that got smashed down when they had, I think it was their supply almost doubled or something crazy. And then you look through, there's a few other, you know, if your area is 100% developed and you've got two properties in it, that's, come on, that's, you're having a laugh. Goldsmith has said Mexican town in Detroit is cruising on 25% developed and have something like another 12% in progress. Yeah, awesome. So they'll be way up there soon too. But definitely the leader at the moment is Mosswood. They're just out in front, and Midtown Terrace is, especially with our Spark Blitz at the moment, we're creeping up behind. But like I said, after this Spark Week Blitz and once my UCC contract runs its course, there's not going to be much happening within Midtown Terrace. I expect we might get up to the 60% developed range, but there's a vast amount of properties there that are going to remain undeveloped until we work out what's going to happen with businesses and outdoor decor and whatnot. So yeah, we'll see. It goes back, yeah, like I said, the stats don't lie. And yeah, if you want to check out what are serious projects and whatnot, as Finn alluded to, it might have been the Goldie, sorry. You have to do your research. And sorry, one more thing. Finn has said Diamond Heights next to Midtown Terrace doing good as well. Now, Diamond Heights is a very interesting example. It's just below Midtown Terrace. Yeah, if you look at the map, Diamond Heights looks amazing. And I actually had somebody from Diamond Heights reach out a while back who's looking to get involved in the UDU. And I said, well, hang on a minute, aren't you already fully involved in developing that? And he said, well, everybody there is kind of just doing their own thing. There's no coordination. There's no planning. They're just building there, which, there's nothing wrong with that per se. But yeah, if you're listening, get back in touch with me, because I know you've cleared vetting and we're waiting to accept you in the team. So see how we go. So I think that covers the past and the present. For the future, I don't know, where are we headed with all this? We've warned within the UDU team that this could all be for naught. All of this time, effort, money that's been put into this could be for naught for a variety of reasons. Of course, the biggest one is Upland as a project could fail completely. Upland may completely change how, the development scores are going to work and all that. It is very much in flux. We don't know what's going to happen, but we always wanted to be up and running on our feet, not waiting and sitting back for what is essentially now years, and getting information and then starting from that. So what the future holds, who knows? Anybody want to chime in and speculate?
As long as Upland doesn't fail, I don't think it's going to be for naught, only because we as a community are going to create several things to kind of push forward past that. And even if, Upland doesn't do anything in regards to the property, what you said before,
Yeah, the scores. Yep.
the scores, I'm already in talks with NOSIF, and me and Laki are in talks with NOSIF about creating a New York City kind of events node project with, fully established nodes that can have events like catered just to them. Like, for example, the Laki Townhouse giveaway is one. And we're just going to keep going from there regarding that, and like just have events. We have comedy clubs, we have jazz singers with oh my god, I'm like losing my mind right now.
Yeah, we're a good team, you and I. We always blank on the most important details. Yes.
Am I?
Yeah, it's if you go over to they might have their own Discord now too. It's in the MBE Discord server anyway, so you can go and check that out.
With Bakio.
Yeah.
Baki had the jazz singing.
I'll
Like I
find it while you're
I
talking.
see it keep going further and further.
Yeah.
With like art exhibits. You come to the field act, and then racing.
Yes.
You can't forget
La Field Jazz Club. Is that
the
it?
Field Jazz Club. Yeah, she sounds so beautiful, her voice. And racing is gonna be really, really awesome with full
Yes.
established nodes. Oh my gosh.
That's a very good point. And the URL team is doing some, the work Dak and the team are doing over there, the foresight that they're showing and the effort they're putting in is quite mind-blowing, to put it frankly. Yeah, definitely cutting edge, the way that they're setting all this up. And yeah, that's going to be a massive boost to neighborhood nodes in particular. I can speak to Midtown Terrace. Midtown Terrace will host, well, assuming everything goes to plan, Midtown Terrace will host one of the fully sanctioned URL races as part of a series. And because of the property ownership and the development progress that we've done, we may be in the running for the showcase event as part of that series too. So yeah, pretty exciting stuff. Now, CJ, you had a very cool take on things that I kind of glossed over. Well, I didn't even really mention the whole concept of nodes and what that can do now and in the future. Are you there, mate? Can you jump in and drop some knowledge on us?
Oh, yeah. I think I was more kind of going to piggyback off of what More Cheese was saying, that just like, even like despite whether Upland is successful or fails, that the time we've spent investing in these nodes, we've also invested in each other, these relationships, and definitely some more than others, but I consider y'all all family, and definitely enjoy seeing when anyone from the UDU family is winning or succeeding with something they're endeavoring in. And I know for sure that if, with the unfortunate circumstance that it would be if Upland was to fail, that we definitely would probably get into something else, or find something for us all to take part in, whether it's even real world or virtual, but yeah, I don't think any of these efforts are really for naught, that was more what I just wanted to kind of add to the pot, or my 2 cents.
Yeah, it's a very important angle too, and thanks for jumping in with that, because it's, as we said, managing nodes over a long time scale, like the UDU has been going for over a year. It's not easy. Yeah, unless you're some kind of super sleuth HR person or whatever, you got to deal with drama. You got to navigate drama and people's emotions, their feelings. Yeah, it's not easy. And yeah, you're right. Cheese and I are a classic example. We have a ride or die relationship. I mean, we're going to ride this puppy out to the end, unless one of us goes completely batshit insane, which it's not off the cards.
It's not.
So
You're teetering on the line, but I have faith in you.
yeah, but yeah, you're right. These Goldsmith, my money is on Ben. Yeah, I've actually, gosh, if you go back and look, I've chilled out, mate. I've just taken on some CJ knowledge, and just what will be, and along for the ride. So
I think I have a great mask, man. It's better than yours. Damn right, it's better than yours.
Yeah. So yeah, node ain't easy. That's what we always say. But
Plenty of fighting, and that's another way you'll make it as a community, is if not the good times, but how you get through the bad times.
Absolutely, and
that's a fact.
Yeah, and it's blockchain. That's one of the massive benefits of this thing being on blockchain. Everything's out there. Everything's transparent. There's nothing that can't be sorted out if you maintain cool heads and mutual respect for each other. I mean, that's why, we could have got into name calling and all sorts of the rest of it in this, but that's not what it's about. We go to, I get into some pretty hefty whines and some pretty hefty debates with people. I've got a big mouth. By all accounts, I've got a big ego. I try to keep it in check, but I run my mouth, but I'm not perfect. I may have slipped occasionally, but I try to never make it personal. I'll defend my opinions and the facts that I know to be true to the end of the earth. But yeah, I'm not gonna. I'll call Cheese a dumb shit or something, or I'll call people out via DMs, or if they're part of the conversation. But yeah.
What if you ever called me a dumb shit?
Well, I don't think I ever have.
He's saying he would.
Yeah, probably a poor example. But yeah.
Watch this be my new nickname now.
No
Jesus
way.
Christ.
And vice versa. It goes both ways. Yeah. And I only say that, Cheese, because I know you can whip me on the back end, and we'll have a good
Yeah, I know. Watch me call me
nickname,
DS.
Joe says. Oh God.
You put it out there now. Everyone's gonna call me a dumb shit.
God,
Look at his
I'm
face.
gonna pay
He's
for that.
so proud of himself.
No,
No,
I'm going to pay for it. I'm going to pay for it. So yeah, we don't know what the future holds for nodes. It's all very much a wait and see. Well, it's not wait and see. It's build as fast as you can while spark prices are as cheap as they are, I feel. So that's just my 2 cents.
Y'all are making it happen, though. You're setting the example and showing what can be done. So it's pretty cool.
All right. Now normally I would have to race off to work. So, and Finn's going to bed. So thank you, Finn. Appreciate everything you do, mate. Absolutely. Yeah, normally we should have run the wheel and wrapped up by now, but because I don't have to race off to work, if anybody has any questions they want to ask about past, future, present of nodes, or if they want to chime in, go for it. Otherwise, we'll just head on straight up to the Upex wheels, assuming that Cheese has them up and ready to go.
Did you guys want to touch on the mash? I know because I didn't hear it, but did you guys see the update on essentially what's going on with the hackathon? We just got the email. Anybody who's in the hackathon or the design contest just got the email about an hour ago.
I'm on top of that, Rose. I shared the email that I got.
Yep.
So no details are going to be provided until right there. No tool alignment, no description of what those tools are.
Sort of, kind of. They're gonna do the video with Edon, the YouTube with Edon.
Yeah,
and
but
you can ask questions in there.
Yeah, but not until then, though. That's what I mean. It's not going to happen until then. It's not going to be. It's not provided now. you've got to get there before you actually see what the tools are. They're going to deliver the tools to you as part
No.
of.
May 27th is the hackathon kickoff show with Edan, and he says be sure to tune in and ask all your questions to help you prepare.
Oh, for sure. But the tools themselves, the access to the tools aren't being provided until the start of the hackathon.
Well, May 31st, my
Right.
birthday.
I know. I've got it in my calendar. Jeez, got it in my calendar.
Yeah, that was we talked about that at the start, and that's good. So your speculation of what you thought how it was all going to play out, yeah, it's
what I mean. It's kind of what I expected. Like they were going to drop it all on everybody at the last minute, which is kind of something that's done in hackathons quite a bit, anyways.
Yeah, and game jams and all the rest of it. Yep, absolutely. All right, let's get these wheels rolling. Shall we see who's going to play? Now, remember, to qualify for the 1 million UpX wheels, you had to be within, Jazz took the snapshot at about the 15-minute mark. So you had to be in at the 15-minute mark. You had to be in to hear the target phrase. And you, of course, had to be in at the end. Now, I have patched those into the wheel. And let's see who's going to play. Oh, it's the Coop Man. I don't know. Is he still here? Is he still here? Sometimes he has to jump out on a call. You're still there, Coop.
I do see him.
I'm here, but I didn't see the phrase. Ah!
Wait, scroll up. I wrote it. I typed it.
Scroll up quickly, Coop.
Shit, we talk so much. I don't even freaking remember it. No team managers for the win. That's for calling me a dumb shit.
I did not call you a dumb shit. Have you got those? Have you got the UpX wheels up ready to go, Cheese?
Yes.
Awesome. See, you're not a dumb shit. You're on the ball.
I could be a dumb shit.
Oh, look, he's effed up the phrase. No, it's not no team managers. Node team.
No
team managers. Woo!
None of them. They're all dumb shit. Where the hell is my window? Oh, there it goes.
Alrighty. Now let's see. We did say, what was it? 25K got passed up last week. Played on and walked away with, well, I was generous and gave 10K. We'll see. Eric don't need no generosity. He's got his fingers in all the pies. So there we go, Eric. I guess, Cheese, you're just going to have to run with this independently because we're in a chat situation. So you just push it whenever, and then Eric, you can let Cheese know if you want to bank that UpX or roll again.
All right, I'm gonna see if I push it right when it hits the 25K.
Now on the 25K mark.
See if that's a thing.
All right, we're rolling.
Oh my God, almost. Go. He's still good.
5,000 UpX. So what are we doing, Eric? Are we banking that UpX or are you going to spin again? Let's see what he says. Spin again, Cheese. Spin again.
All right.
So, yep. Top prize on this wheel, 3 chances at 50,000 UpX. But of course, the other prizes drop down to potentially 2,500 or 500 UpX. Let's see what he gets.
Let's see. I'm gonna do it right before.
Oh, so you're trying to do like pinata
It's
tactics
strategic.
or something? Yeah, you're trying to work out an
Oh, that
angle.
didn't work at all.
Oh, this will be an easy decision then. He's gone from 5,000 UpX to 500 UpX. I will ask the question because that's what we do. Do you want to bank that UpX, Eric, or spin again? Be funny if he said bank. That'd be quite.
I know, that would be funny.
Spin it again, Cheese. Here we go. I don't know how
Right.
many chances of this have we had? Maybe the 4th or 5th go at the 1 million. So yeah, there's a 1 million on the board. And that is creeping up that pot, like I said, with the UCC sponsorship.
Oh,
What did he get? 250 UpX, Eric. Congratulations, mate. I shall send that to you in a moment. So well done. So jump us out of there, Cheese. So yeah, just a reminder, there is 2 contests underway this week. One's for the Lackey Manhattan Townhouse, and the other one is for whatever's going to be that Moon decides to take. It's either going to be a Chicago property or 10,000 UPEX as well. All you have to do is jump on over to the YouTube, like and subscribe, all that good stuff. Jedi, where can you find those challenges? That is a fantastic question. You can find them in the MVE server, or of course, if you listen back. But as Cheese and I both said, these ones this week are very easy. All you have to do is put a post in what will be the put up recording of this particular UDU podcast show. So a reminder that if you have an Upland NFT or Metaverse product, service, or event to promote, opportunities are available for sponsorship and engagement in the UDU podcast. Contact myself or More Cheese to discuss and secure your spot. And yep, all proceeds go towards giveaway and prizes on the podcast. And as we always say, spread the word. The show is open to the public each and every week via the MB Discord server, although Cheese was naughty today and she did spam it in the open community post thing. So thank you for that. And yeah, you can join in every week for your chance, just like Eric did at the 1 million UPEX wheel. I think that just about wraps us up, Cheese. You can get us the flock out of here, please.
I don't have my chicken wing. Love, peace, and chicken wing. Pretend there's a chicken wing here. Bye.